everybody. So today, welcome to Global Startup Talks by Meguru Summit. We are streaming from Kobe and excited to invite all the startups. And before we begin, I would like to invite Oliver from Estonia Embassy to give us a speech.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone, from the beautiful and very entrepreneurial Kobe. My name is Oliver Ait, and I work as a commercial counselor at the Embassy of Estonia. And before the event starts, I would like to give a little bit background and context for what we are actually about to experience here today. In 2021, Estonia and Japan celebrated 100 years of friendship. So we've been experiencing actually very, very good, stable, nice relations. And now I'm really happy to say that actually for the past 15 to 20 years, we have also established a very solid business relationships. Not only in terms of trade, but also in terms of investments. Japanese big corporations are looking for open innovation ideas, and Estonian companies are providing very, very practical and also global business plans. So Estonia is also a country that has one of the highest number of unicorns and startup companies per capita. This is very, very attractive for Japanese companies, CVCs, investors, and for Estonian companies. Japanese partners are trustworthy, they are very tech-savvy, with big market behind them. And that's, I think, a very, very solid business match. Fundamentals are there, and we at the Embassy of Estonia are really, really trying to support these kind of activities. So it's only natural that today we are here and creating a startup ecosystem event between Estonia and Japan, and not only connecting big companies with startups, but actually have discussion between startups and startups and try and solve different problems from a little bit different perspective. In 2002, Kobe City actually participated Estonian flagship event. You were actually there.
Yes, I was there
called
as well.
Latitude 59. And now I'm really happy to actually say that we are privileged to return the favor and be here and share our little story about our successes in our startup ecosystems and try and contribute a little bit to the development of local startup ecosystem here in Kobe. And we are, since we have some companies joining from Estonia, we have some companies present here, we are trying to discuss ideas, very important ideas to the whole world, namely climate, food tech, and generally how to employ new technologies from a little bit different perspectives and hopefully come up with great ideas. Estonia as a e-society with its strong e-government actually feels very comfortable in this setting. We have Estonian companies joining online. Hybrid is a normal for us. And combining it today's physical event, I think it's very, very good kind of format. So I wish everyone exciting discussions, and hopefully in the end of the day we'll learn a little bit more about each other, come up with practical ideas, and the event will continue in the future also. So thank you very much and good discussions.
Thank you so much, Oliver. We're very excited to have this day today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just to share this today's amazing opportunity, I see people online as well. Thank you all for joining from Estonia. It's a very experimental experience, even for me, and I'm very excited to learn about all of you founders right in front of my screen and here as well. Can you all guys see each other?
We can see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Hi.
Okay. All right. So we have a few panels today, and the first panel, I'll first share the title, but Startup Support Ecosystem. So we'll be exploring about the roles of government and private initiatives in Estonia and Japan. And just to tell you a background, and Oliver also shared a bit about Estonia, what's happening in Estonia, but also in Japan, Kobe as well. In Estonia, if you look, there are so many different startup initiatives happening. We also know about like e-residence program as well. There's startup visa programs as well. We've heard a lot about great events happening, startup days there, Latitude, great events, and so on. And in Japan as well, nowadays government is pushing pushing a lot in terms of public sector. So there's Startup 5-year plan that's happening throughout the government. There's also a big startup conference starting to happen. There's more international startups coming in through startup visa. So I would say it's the time that a lot of things are happening. So today I would like to ask questions, but before we start, founders, you are all the highlights. So I would like to first maybe ask from the Japan side, just to share about who you are and what you do and maybe your role. So should I start maybe from you?
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anh. I'm from Veritas, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Veritas. At Veritas, we build an AI app that helps researchers and experts to find and extract information and understand the information from research paper quickly. And sitting next to me is my co-founder and CEO of Veritas, Manas.
Yeah, she introduced me. My name is Manas. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Veritas. And yeah, we are building a product that simplifies science for everyone, researchers, innovation professionals, deep tech founders. And we are in the business of optimizing for time.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Yuta, co-founder and the CEO of Art for the Think. What we do is it's kind of new way of burial, and we don't really provide any technology or anything, but it's good for environment. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So yes, thank you to all of you. I would like to now ask virtually. I would love to start from BugBox team. If you could maybe share about your name, what you do, and yeah, the floor is yours.
Hello to everyone. I'm Erland. I'm a founder and CEO of company BugBox, and we have developed industrial technology to produce sustainable proteins from edible insects, especially crickets for human food and the pet food especially. It's fully automated solution which makes it efficient, which is a key on the protein markets. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. And then I hope I'm seeing. So we have G-Scan team. Yes, with the logo. Great. Maybe if you could share from your side as well, that'd be great.
Yes, I'm a little bit exception because I'm not a co-founder of the company. I'm a product manager there. But since I have a very strong relationship with Japan, so my name is Sander Sein. Can you hear me?
Maybe the volume. Yeah,
we can hear you.
I think now we can hear. Great.
Okay, good. So I'm not a co-founder of the company. I'm a product manager, but I have a strong relationship with Japan. Sander Sein is my name, and G-Scan is a deep tech company. We are developing muon flux technology scanners, so hardware and software, both sides.
The last speaker for today, would you like to maybe share about what you do and your startup?
Good morning. My name is Terje Eichelman, and I'm a co-founder and chief commercial officer at Lightcode Photonics. In Lightcode Photonics, we are building 3D cameras to enable autonomy, and I'm really happy to be part of building the bridge between Estonian and Japanese companies.
Great, thank you so much. So today we have both virtually and physically, so it's going to be definitely new for me. But the first question I would love to start is maybe from startups from Estonia who are joining virtually. But in Japan, when we see Estonia as startup country, there's a lot of support going on. And in your opinion, so how does government actually in Estonia actively support you guys in terms of promoting startup initiatives? What kind of impact what kind of impact would you highlight? Maybe if you could share some examples or cases. Does anyone want to share?
Maybe I can start. So it's so important. It's taking the village to raise a child, as we know, and these kind of like little tiny little things like supporting autonomous driving robots on the streets to test them, and also effectively show to the public world that this is now a new normal. The future is really happening, and the robots are on the streets and they're reliable. They can deliver you the packages and the goods. I think that this is where it's all starting.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say kind of supports that you really benefited, or maybe some challenges that you are seeing from the public support? Is this something that you would like to continue and share?
I would say that this continuous publicity and support and empowerment from a government side, being ambassador in a wild world is the biggest support they can offer. It's not so much direct money or support incentives, but really being there and supporting. And I would say that even today's event wouldn't happen otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Great point. And I loved how you said about incentives. So maybe I can also ask from other startups in Estonia in terms of like incentives. Is it something, of course, about the public sector support, but incentives that you like to share and highlight that benefit your growth of your startup? Maybe should we bring?
Yes, I can continue.
Yes.
If it's okay, yeah. Our company Backbox has, just for example, we have received not just the support as an ecosystem member, but also regarding some grants. So years ago, we started with innovative grants to just test our final product. We have got the support in terms of grants to digitalize our industrial hardware. And at the moment, we are finalizing and working to give additional value to the final product as well. But I liked very much what Terje said, that to being a part, even the Prime Minister visits and as a member of the business delegations, and also with Estonian presidents, when president is on the stage as your biggest salesman, and they are not afraid to promote the future economics, which are not even so much proven and have no so strong traction yet. That's really impressive and gives us the strength to continue and to really push to develop our solutions. And that's something what quite rare in the world, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I think that publicity as well as the brand, and you mentioned about ecosystem as well. I think it really is appealing for a lot of startups as well. Maybe I would also share about the grants. I think you mentioned about the grants and maybe the accessibility of these kind of grants or startup support might be very interesting in Estonia. Maybe would you like to share a bit about something that you noticed, that you highlight, that you want to highlight?
In terms of grants, yes, it should be aligned with some countries, or let's say Estonians' main strategies. What are the important areas what our country would like to develop, and it's definitely IT, but also we need to look some other sectors which we can support, and one is deep tech, definitely, which we all represent here in G-Scan and Terje's company. So the deep tech is quite wide, but it's really difficult, and this is where startups by themselves and only with support with investors might have kind of struggling to launch a product where your hockey stick line is too long, and longer than the IT companies. Right. And there the government is actually still looking the best ways to support this kind of developments. But this cooperation where we together can seek the opportunities, how the country and public sector can support more this kind of high-tech technology developments, and to to be competitive on the global market. That's really impressive, what we can emphasize.
Thank you. And maybe I will also ask G-Scan team as well, because as you said as well previously in this discussion, deep tech is something that we all need. It's very impactful for this society, but at the same time need a lot of support. Maybe from your perspective, anything that you want to highlight in terms of support to specifically to deep tech or tech-driven startups?
Yeah, thank you for the previous information. That I have the same message that we have good grant opportunities. We have a good marketing value from the government side. But as if we want to commercialize our products, then this is maybe the main challenge. That the time for the product development it goes fast, but for commercializing the product it takes time. So, but in general, our government is very supportive, and the ecosystem is quite good to develop and to go abroad, because our Japanese relationships from commercial side started thanks to Enterprise Estonia.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And we're very excited to see more of this, crossover relationship. And I'll move this conversation back to our studio here as well. I think that in terms of public sectors or private sectors, maybe there's differences, maybe there's similarities. Any highlights that you've been seeing nowadays in terms of support from public sectors or even from private sectors that you noticed that helps you grow your business? Maybe would you like to start?
All right, I'll start. So I think Japan has a very unique way of supporting startups through startup city programs. Mm-hmm. So we have one in Kobe city, we have in Shibuya, Fukuoka, Hokkaido. So these startup city programs, I think, help foreign founders, native founders start their companies, realize their vision, especially when they do not know how to go about it. Because I would say the processes and rules can be quite challenging and complex, even for citizens. So for founders, they're even more so. So that's one very special way how the public support helps us. Mm-hmm. But it differs in the way the managers of these startup cities implement it. So the kind of support that you can expect would vary across the cities. So it becomes a more personal or a city-specific. The ecosystem is pretty much shaped by the people leading the initiative in that city. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I think in terms of public support as well from the public to startups, I think it's definitely growing, but the combinations of private support is also interesting. And I also want to highlight, for example, this event today. It's run by organized together with Kobe City, and maybe I would like to ask, how about the programs? Do you think there are more startup programs that's helping for you to go global or even go bigger? How do you say these trends are happening nowadays in Japan?
Well, I only know the Kobe cases, but we went to England for 10 days, then we get grants from the Kobe, which we really appreciated. Okay. So if we are in a seed phase, so we want to go global in a couple of years, but it's quite difficult to go to overseas to see the many events or take part in whatever event is. But if we get grants, it's much easier to see what's going on in our case, it was UK, but it was really helpful, so we really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Great. And definitely using these kind of private support as well. But the private initiative also plays a huge role. And this could also be, collaboration like startups going to Estonia, vice versa, coming to Japanese market as well. But I think we still have time to, yes. So I would also like to maybe ask a bit about private initiatives. So there might be a quite difference in terms of course, the companies, let's say the number of corporations might be very different from Japan versus Estonia or New Nordics, or even VC's landscape may be a bit different. So any interesting private initiatives that you would like to maybe share? I will maybe pass back to startups from Estonia that you would like to highlight that succeed your growth of your venture.
I would like to start. If it's
great.
So private initiative in the beginning of our development. So 2018, we contacted two Japanese companies, Kurarai and Hamamatsu Photonics. So we were the clients, but now it has turned out more of these relationships. And in addition, last year, Marubeni, one Japanese company, contacted us directly, and now we have had several meetings, and it seems that it has a potential to turn out additional business between Estonia and Japan. So really nice, but it all started with public sector support.
That's great. And then I'm hearing big names as well. And I think in Japanese business cultures as well, we sometimes look at different achievements as well. And working with, of course, public sector is good, but also having these private companies involved and signing the deal, it's a huge thing. Maybe I'll also pass it back to the Japan side, so to make it interactive as well. But how would you see any private initiatives or that really helped you grow, or maybe even something that you like to see more from Japan? One thing that I recently seen in Japan, for example, there's a lot of corporate venture capitals, there's a lot of different accelerator programs, maybe there's too much, but is there something that you like to highlight that's really helped your business grow? Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I can start. So it was such a coincidence that I and Manas, we just joined an accelerator bootcamp in Okinawa, OIS Accelerator, and we just came back last week. And in terms of the program itself, it was my first time for me to actually attend an accelerator program, and it was a very good experience for me as a founder to learn about the customer discovery, business development, and financial projections. So I think in Japan, currently there are more and more accelerator programs, not only for Japanese founders, but also for non-Japanese founders. So I think that could be a very interesting point for any first founder, I would say, to actually attend and learn and get to know more about the startups and the ecosystem in Japan as that.
Great. So so OIST is, do you want to explain a bit more about OIST? So maybe some of the people joining online, they might be new with the space.
So basically OIST is a very international institute in Japan, Okinawa Institute of Technology. That is the name for that. And in OIST, there are over 700 researchers from all over the globe, not only Japanese researchers and professors, but also they have many international researchers and PhD students attending the institutes. And I would say that the environment there is very global and international, and the language especially is in English. So everything is in English, and it's totally different
very new in Japan.
From mainland of Japan.
85% of professors and faculty, staff, students are overseas from foreigners. So the environment is very international, and so it was the right place for us to go. So yeah.
And this globalness, I think when I went to Estonia, I was amazed. If you go to any startup events or communities, English is the standard, whereas in Japan, where still might be there's a lot of improvements to make. Maybe you're laughing, so we can, of course, talk more about this. But I think one question that I also want to highlight is that we talk about startups, but it's actually the impact of these cultural factors is also huge, which startup is bringing. For example, I'm sure some of the Estonian startups you worked in, of course, in Estonia, but other markets. And this, if you work in different markets or different clients, it's about like learning new culture, as well as you're bringing something new to. It could be clients or to the ecosystem as well. Maybe could someone want to share about like what could be the impact of culture in terms of cultural factors? Yes.
I would like to start. Definitely, it's not only about the culture, but valuing the differences is basic to create the synergistic solutions. So the cultural differentiation can be the key to find different angles which can lead you to the really exploding solution and good results. So that's why I'm really like encouraging and emphasizing, especially startup founders, to travel around, to meet different people, to validate the market on the site, not just in the internet or just in the Excel table. So meet the clients, join to the different accelerators and get experience. That different experience will lead to the results. Definitely, that's my message.
Great. Meet the clients, get the experiences. That's a great the comment. Any other thoughts from Estonian startup?
Yeah, I can elaborate. So whether the glass is half empty or half full, what is the correct answer? So I would say the answer is yes. Both are right. And it's always important to remember that you can fulfill the other person's glass with your strengths and vice versa. And when I started with the quote that it's taking the village to build to raise the child, it's vice versa also. It's taking the child to raise the village. So also remembering that startups themselves can help to build very strong communities and be proactive, not waiting passively that something is happening, but if you want to see the change, start with yourself, be very, very open-minded, go around, create raving fans, and make sure that you're creating together with other startups the buzz, because together we are stronger and creating the synergy and you're more visible. So it's kind of cultivating the network of trust.
Amazing. Together we are strong. And I think that really sums up this conversation. And we have to cut because of the timing. But I want to give a huge applause to all the startups who joined today. And we'll definitely keep this conversation joining. So thank you for all joining. And yeah, see you at the next panel. All right, so now the exciting part begins. It's the pitches of the startups. And today we have 7 innovative startups joining us, and both virtually and physically. So first, I would like to invite Taftak from Ene from Taftak. Are you here with us? And
yes.
Yes, great. Just to share everybody, so each startup will pitch for 3 minutes, and then there will be a quick pause, and then next startup. So Ene, if you're ready, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks so much. As mentioned, I'm Ene Viard. I'm the Innovation Director in DevTech, a funny abbreviation from our very long and cumbersome name. So what we do is food and biotech innovation. So DevTech is actually not a startup, so we're a privately owned research organization. We've been active in the Nordics for over close to 20 years, and our mission is to accelerate food and biotech innovation, not only in this region, but globally. And our ambition, to put it shortly, is to transform this heavily animal-based agriculture system to food production in bioreactors. So essentially making animals obsolete in food production. So this is just a snapshot of our lab. No stock photos here, only our actual scientists working in our brand new R&D center here in Tallinn. So what do we offer? So of course, one of our main services is product co-development. What does it mean? So we help our customers or clients refine the idea or the problem that needs solving. Then we develop the process at lab scale, do the validation at pilot, help our customers with technology transfer, and of course, have the consumers also involved throughout the whole thing. And anybody and everybody who's had anything to do with product development knows that there's a lot of moving back and forth between these phases. So agile product and service development is definitely our strong suit. So we've launched a lot of nice products in the Nordics with our good customers. So heavily emphasizing meat and dairy alternatives from alternative proteins of different sources. What we also do is, of course, biotech and bioprocess development and scale up. So what does this mean? So our customers come to us with a strain or a molecule that they would like to produce, for example, via precision fermentation. Then we study those organisms, see what they need, what kind of feedstocks, other parameters that are needed. Then we basically do the process in a very tiny scale in lab. So producing the desired molecule in 1 milliliter volumes. Then slowly scale up using our park of bioreactors to 1 liter, 7 liters, moving step by step to larger volumes. So you actually have materials that can be further studied and also developed into product prototypes. And hopefully that will result in a lot of happy customers and also the end users as well. So throughout this process, what we also offer is a lot of insight into what is happening. So how these microorganisms grow, what they consume from the feedstocks, what they need, what kind of metabolites they produce, of course, whether it's all safe. We carry out dietary intervention studies to determine the effect on health. And of course, we also do techno-economical assessment to make sure that the processes are economically feasible and profitable, and also assess the impact on the environment, because only this way we can have products that are safe, scalable, and sustainable. So in DevTech, you will find a partner for on-demand science. So that's all from me. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Ene, for sharing. And I'm really excited to hear more about you. So the next startup we're inviting is Re-Explorer from Hendrik from Re-Explorer. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am the CEO of Re-Explorer, and we are building the 3D energy planner. So we are doing the digital and green transformation, again, of course, from Tallinn, Estonia. And our vision is that everyone can be a renewable energy producer. And for this, we have made unique technology, a unique software to automatically design solar energy for buildings, for roofs in 3D. We are doing this also with the partnerships with the local Taltech University for evaluating smart city energy efficiency. And just as a small startup, we have already partnered with a global energy giant, Total Energies from France, and we are doing large-scale solar energy scanning projects for them. Why Japan? So we know that 60% of new energy globally will come from solar by 2030. So this is the fastest growing renewable energy source in the world. And Japan has ambitious net zero carbon neutrality goals. So to make this happen, we need, for the green energy to deploy, we need scalable planning tools. And this is what we work with. And we also see that it is very important that to inform and make it easy for the citizens to learn about the benefits of using photovoltaic solar energy. This is our product. So we do everything automatically, rendering in 3D. So for example, this private house, we are making automatic projects of how much solar energy will contribute to this family home. We also work with commercials. So this is an example of a warehouse or a factory that can also use the same modeling for the system calculations. And we work with smart city projects. So our actually unique point is that we can do tens of thousands of projects at once, and we are not restricted to just one project, but we can do large-scale analysis. Our strategy right now is that we are going to open this software also for CAD software platforms, for example, AutoCAD, to have this automatic energy planner for architects and engineers. And we are also adding a heat pump calculation integration from the second half of this year. And you can use us with a software as a service license available both for commercial and residential market. I also wanted to share with you that we are doing AI development. So we are using machine learning to improve the accuracy of our modeling. And the first prototype was launched last year to work on commercial and industrial solar energy projects. So using the AI helper to accelerate our project scope. Also wanted to share with you that at the moment we are raising investments of 80 million yen, that is €500,000. So join us and fuel our ambition to grow in the smart city energy sphere. We will be growing in Europe and in Japan for the next 3 years with the money. And we're also doing another university project that is a digital construction grant project to make our solution even more effective. Thank you for the attention, and contact me at henrik@rexplorer.ee.
Great, thank you so much, and looking forward to learn more later. So next we have Veritas team. Yes. So this time we're now doing from the studio from Kobe. So it's again 3 minutes pitch. So the floor is yours.
Check. Good to go?
Yes.
Thanks.
Great to go.
Time is always slipping away. It reminds us that our opportunities are finite. For a researcher, that opportunity is publishing a paper. For a deep tech founder, like many of us here, that opportunity is a longer runway. We are Veritas, and our vision is to maximize the opportunities for researchers, innovation experts, and deep tech founders. The problem Veritas is solving is of time. Not so long ago, it took days to find one research paper. Today, it takes hours. Much better, right? But here's a fun fact. Last year, 2 papers were published in life sciences every minute. Let that sink in. To keep up, a researcher spends over 500 hours every year just looking for information, searching, not innovating. And that is a huge financial cost to industry and institutions. At Veritas, our vision is to reduce that time cost to minutes. And as a result, it will lead to better productivity, better wellness, and better career outcomes for researchers and for industry and institutions. That means faster innovation and much higher research output for the same amount of money spent. The problem of finding information happens because we search in keywords, but we think in language. So if we can search like we think, the problem is solved. And generative AI makes it possible. We can just ask a question. This has led to a growing demand for research co-pilots and semantic search engines. And Veritas is at the intersection of both. This is a fast-growing market. Our beachhead segment is first-year PhD students. And in 2 years' time, we will target the entire global research community, servicing a $2 billion market. Over to Ang.
The Veritas team has the technical, business, and industry experience to build the product. We have published over 45 research papers and have a collective research experience of over 25 years. We also have experience in AI, venture capital, and software development. And we are a diverse, cohesive, and committed team. And one more important thing, we have personally suffered from all the pain points that we're solving. And that is why Veritas is built for research by researchers. Our customers are researchers and experts from both industry and academia, but also include deep tech founders, VC, professionals, and so on. And here's our MVP. You simply upload a paper and get started with a summary. Ask the question, and you will find the information you need. If you're new to a topic, then digging deeper questions will help you find all the additional relevant information. And Veritas can explain complex figure and table with ease. Now, let's compare Veritas with a competitor with over 300,000 users. Same paper, same question, but our competitor cannot find the right information. This is a fast-growing market, and our competitive edge is that we understand researchers' workflow. Our MVP is currently in the hands of over 70 users. We have received a lot of amazing feedback. Our users love the product, love its features, and love the way it understands research topics. And of course, it saves their time. In the next 5 years, we will accelerate innovation by helping 10 million researchers innovate faster. And our second product will help millions of people live a happier, healthier, and a more fulfilling life through science-based lifestyle.
Right, so if you're an investor, a deep tech founder, or a researcher, please reach out and connect with us. We are a Kobe City startup, and we have just raised our pre-seed round. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Veritas, for sharing. All right. So next, I would like to invite Grab2Go. So Rayo, if you'd like to share about what you do, that would be great. So I'll give the floor to you.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Nice to meet you. My name is Rayo, and I'm one of the co-founders of Grab2Go. We build autonomous solutions, such as on the screen, you can see autonomous pharmacy. What we have seen in the pharmaceutical market is that there is not enough people to run pharmacies on a 24/7 basis. And also, of course, the labor costs are rising. As well, if you are thinking of a traditional pharmacy, there are a lot of processes that are still today manually heavy in manual work. And for that problem, we have built a robotic solution where all the processes itself are automated, and the usual tasks are run by a robot. So, in essence, it is a store, and behind the wall, there are robotic shelves that are bringing the goods what the customers are purchasing for. And today, we have a ready-made solution that is a Cartesian robot-based solution. This can already accommodate various different packages, bottles, and other, let's say, rather complex packages. But the competitive edge compared to a typical vending machine is that our store is a large robotic store that could fit near 2,500 different units. And of course, as the requirement in a pharmacy side as well, that there has to be a multi-zone chilled and ambient solution out there. For pharmacies, we have built a closed system, hence the customers cannot enter the store without permission. And for the pharmacies themselves, we give them the full control of those robotic processes. So please imagine that there is a customer searching for a headache pill or similar product, and they would like to have a quick consultation with the pharmacist. We will then give the opportunity to have a video call with the pharmacist. The pharmacist will themselves have a consultation, give the traditional recommendations, what comes with the product. And then hence the pharmacist will also grant the possibility of purchasing the product. So in essence, it is a possibility for pharmacies to run autonomous stores to cut costs on labor, logistics and administration. The current return on investment in this type of robotic store is 24 to 33 months. And we are developing further solutions which are smaller or larger. And we are not ourselves a pharmacist operator. We are the company who builds the robotic solutions and runs the software. That's it. Thank you for the opportunity to present Grab2Go.
Thank you so much, Grab2Go. All right. So the next startup we have is Funky. So Shirley, if you're here with us virtually, the floor is yours.
So hi, we all know that aviation is a major source of pollution and we should take a train instead of a plane. But what people usually don't realize is that animal farming is far greater source of pollution, causing 6 times more greenhouse gas emissions compared to aviation. And the evolving climate crisis is not the only issue here. United Nations has declared that by year 2050, our protein need will double, which will lead us to a critical deficiency. So we really need new solutions now. My name is Sirle, and I am from Funky, and we are producing sustainable protein from industrial side streams by using fungi. Today, meat industry is a 1 trillion euro size market, and meat alternatives account a bit more than 1% of it. But this market is growing really fast. We believe that mycoprotein is the silver bullet. Our products has a really great texture and taste. They contain high-quality protein, but also fibers, which are very much lacking in the current Western diets. And it is produced by an environmentally friendly production process that can be conducted locally all around the world. In our process, we are focusing on utilizing different side streams to feed the fungi growing in fermentation cells. We are working to increase the production efficiency by increasing the biomass concentration and decreasing the water need in the process. We have the technologies to produce different tasty food products out from mycoprotein, and our first fillet-type products has been very well accepted by the consumers as well as chefs, showing the great potential of mycoprotein as a new food ingredient. Today, we are developing together with researchers from Estonia our own mycoprotein proprietary technology, and we plan to finalize it in 2025, which will lead us into scaling up in demo facility by 2027, and we plan to reach first industrial production by year 2030. Our team contains of experts with years of experience in food and biotechnologies, hospitality industry, and business development. Today, we are also raising funds, mainly to co-finance our mycoprotein production technology development and to work out a commercial strategy for the future. So join us in our journey and let's save the planet together, bite by bite. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Funky. All right. So the last startup we have today is IO. So Mary-Lise, if you're here with us, the floor is yours.
I'm Mary-Lise, and I'm from IO, and in IO, we future shape fats and oils. There's a huge market potential for novel oils because our current oils and fats world market is around $235 billion US. And the oils are required in food, feed, cosmetics, and chemicals, but the production is unsustainable. Imagine a solution where the oils and fats are produced without plants or animals. Use 90% less land, it's 10 times faster, and uses 10 times less water. It guarantees the food security. It mitigates tons of CO2, preserves biodiversity, and is a true circular economy study case. This is not illusion, this is actually IO. And what we do in IO is that we brew fats and oils. So we take low-value byproducts and turn them into lipid-rich biomass. And we do it through tailored fermentation processes. And our ingredients can be then used in food or pet feed, in cosmetics and household chemicals. We're currently producing 3 types of products, which are non-GMO, rich in antioxidants and omega-3, and doesn't have any trans fats. We have our encapsulated oil where the lipids are kept inside the protein and fiber matrix, so they don't leak out. We have our pigmented enriched oil, which is rich in antioxidants, and we have also the solid fats. IO was established in 2022, and it is a spin-off from Caltech University. Last year, we were able to gather more than 3 million euros of funds, and we showed our upscaled production. We are currently building a pilot facility, but in 2026, we want to be operational in demo scale. And in 2028, we want to be in full scale, license our production so the industries can produce the ingredients in the range of the palm oil. But where is our true core essence is in synthetic biology, and we want to do strain engineering so that tailor-made lipids will be produced. Our brilliant team is around 10 experts, and we are growing. And we have 2 amazing leaders, Nemaila Ponturi and Petrian Latve, who's running the team. So currently, we are gathering our Series A funds, around 6 million, and we have half of it. And we're always looking partners to go develop and test our products. So thank you for your time, and yeah, please contact me.
Thank you so much, IO team. All right, so we have 7 startups just shared an amazing pitch. Thank you to all founders joining us today. Would love to hear more, and definitely excited to hear the future updates. So we're going to take a little break here at the studio. So today at Meguru Summit, we have a booth studio here as well as startup demo booth and conferences happening. So Rumor, I'm going to ask you to show us around. So let's take a little tour at Quito.
Konnichiwa from Quito Hall. This is incredible what is happening here at Meguru Summit. Startups pitching their ideas, how to make our world a better place. And do you know what connects Tartu with a startup? Tartu is the only word in the city that perfectly fits into the heart of startup. And that's the reason why we are here, to connect 2 ecosystems, to showcase science-based startups. Investors play a critical role in the success of startup, not just providing capital, but network, guidance, expertise. In Estonia, startup founders must do business pitching in ice-cold water. Don't ask me why. In hot sauna, Well, I have been walking around and I have heard many times startup founders mentioning nominication, but I have no understanding. Takashi-san, would you explain Estonian startup founders what is nominication?
Okay. Nominication is a very unique Japanese culture, social environment, relaxing type of the atmosphere. So Japanese people is very shy. So they need to something more relaxing time. Otherwise, they don't show any true feelings. So and also, I think the investor need to the patient. They are not quick decision maker. So you must be understand that's the cultural environment.
I see very many similarities between Japan and Estonia. But from cultural perspectives, what would you advise to Estonian founders how to approach to Japanese investors?
Yes, nominication is one of the things, but otherwise it's very similar. So that we need for the how to withdraw the true feelings of Japanese investor. That's one of the things with maybe nominication.
What about the time of making decisions? Are you faster than in Estonia, or you are not?
I know that some of the Estonian investors, they are not always, but complained about the how slow Japanese investor decide. Because of the mainly for they are not the individual investor, such as angel investor, they have to be from the bottom up type of the decision making style. So it's going to take so long time, maybe compared to other countries.
So Estonians don't expect quick decisions in Japan. So thank you, Takashi-san, and let's walk around and see what startups has to show us.
Okay.
Thank you. Please. Thank you.
Today, this is a very hybrid style. We have amazing startups from Kobe, but also virtually we have startups from Estonia joining remotely. And at this panel, we're discussing about market entry strategies, challenge and success stories. So before we start, I would like to ask startups to maybe share about what they do and a bit about yourself. So first of all, I would love to bring from Kobe, so iLabo team, maybe could you share about what you do and who you are?
なんつうの？
会社紹介。
え？
会社紹介です。
ああ。
自己紹介。
iLabo の小松と申します。Sorry, in Japanese. iLabo はですね、今走っているディーゼルエンジンのトラックを改造して水素で走るようにする会社です。で、これもですね、今日本の中ではね。
略しますね。
So
yeah, I'll be translated. This is Sakaguchi. So iLabo, we are making a business by converting the diesel engine into the hydrogen engine. So and then we are putting the hydrogen engine into truck, and then the truck is on the road.
日本だけでなく世界でも二酸化炭素をたくさん出しているのはやっぱりトラックのような大きな車、これの二酸化炭素排出量を削減するという目標で、うちの会社は立ち上がりました。
So our goal is eliminating, or decarbonating the CO2 emission gas by exchanging the diesel engine into hydrogen, so that
that is our goal. Okay, thank you so much. And we'll dive into iLabo more later.
Thank you.
So next, I'm going to try to do vice versa. So from Zoom, from Estonia. So do we have Silver with me? Yes. So maybe if you could share about who you are and about H2 Electro, that would be great.
Yeah, hello, this is Silver from H2 Electro. So what we do is we develop a new solid oxide electrolyzer cells and stacks to be used in industrial applications. So that our goal is to make them lasting long enough so they could be used in several industrial applications like ammonia production or steel production.
Great, thank you so much. I'll continue with Mark from SkyCorp Technologies. Do I see Mark? Yes.
I'm here.
Great.
Hello. Greetings to Japan.
Thank you.
Good to be here virtually. So what we do is we develop and manufacture hydrogen drones, meaning that we put fuel cells on drones. We reduce the amount of batteries needed. We increase the endurance of them. So that increases the availability in challenging environments, longer flight times, faster refueling, of course, and a better environmental footprint.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And continuing again remotely, Ivar from Power Up Energy Technologies. If you could maybe share a bit about what you do.
Yes.
Who you are. Yes.
Hi, from Tallinn, from Estonia. So my name is Ivar Krusenberg. I'm CEO of Power Up Energy Technologies, and what we do at Power Up, we manufacture ultra lightweight and small hydrogen fuel cells, and as well battery capacity extenders running on the hydrogen. And for the various of applications, from the backup to the railways, to the medical sector, to the primary electric generators as well. So the hydrogen business is also super important for us.
Great. And I'll come back to the studio. So Anna from Sound Design. So maybe if you could share a bit about what you do and your business.
Okay, so Sound Design is a design company. We mainly support ethical and sustainable brands in the company with graphic design and visual identity. And I just started a jewelry brand made with recycled material.
Great, thank you so much. I just went to a booth a few minutes ago and saw amazing products as well. All right, moving back to remotely. So Hendrik from Re-Explorer? Yes, great.
Hey, yeah. I'm Henrik Kunt, the CEO of Re-Explorer, and we are doing software to automatically design solar energy projects for buildings. So we're also working on decarbonization of built environment to transform from fossil fuels to solar energy. Thank you.
Thank you. So thanks to all the founders and startups joining today. And market entry strategy. So this is something that's very crucial for a lot of startups in terms of growth, but it's also creating an impact. And of course, we can easily say go global, but there's of course a lot of challenges as well. So my first questions that I would like to ask Estonian startups here today is that when you're going to a new market, for example, let's say in Japan or Asia or even US, there are different key challenges. And there are also some secrets on maybe what might be the good way to navigate. So in terms of market research, I'm sure people will do a bit of market research before going. But how important is market research? Does anybody want to share this? Maybe I'll start from Silver if you want to share a bit about that.
Yes, of course. Like market research is really important. Like for example, for us, like to to know whether, like in some market, there is more need for electrolyzers or more need, for example, for fuel cells. In this regard, it's really important and to know which companies are already there in the value chain. For example, when we go to some specific market and we seek for companies who could easily cooperate with us, who are like aligned with our activities. So yeah, I think it is important to do the research beforehand.
Great. And maybe I'll ask the same question to the Kobe studio, to maybe to iLabo as well. So market research, there's of course different ways, but what kind of relevant, what kind of data can be relevant, or what kind of approach was relevant for you when you were trying to enter to a new market? Maybe would you like to share a bit about that? And maybe I'll jump into a bit of Japanese as well. But スタートアップが海外に展開するときに、いろんなその市場調査っていうのがあると思うんですけど、結局市場調査ってどうやるんだっけみたいなところもあるかなと思ってまして、でもしiLaboさんのそうですね、過去にこういう方法は意外と良かったとか、これはやったけどあんまり意味なかったとかあれば、ぜひお聞かせ願いたいなと思いましたが。
市場調査、
そうですね、市場調査、マーケットリサーチの部分ですね。
今は結構ウェブでいろんな情報を取れるんだけれども、真であったり偽であったり嘘もかなり含まれてる。だからそこを全部信用していくわけにはいかないので、結局頼れるところってまず観光庁がきちっと出しているデータを見に行く、もうこれぐらいしかなかなか確実性のものはないですね。
So currently there are many resources that we can get the data or access. But by Google or Yahoo or whatever, that there is many the searching engines. However, there are many true and also the false as well. And then we can trust the old data that we can find in the search engines. So what we can trust is the announcement from the government. So that's we are doing.
Amazing. Definitely public data or the official data can sometimes really support in decision making.
Yes.
And then maybe the next question that I'll share to maybe to actually Ivar and Hendrik as well. What would you say? Did you have maybe real challenges when entering, like considering to entering the markets? Like what kind of challenges have you faced? How did you overcome? And maybe the reason why I would like to hear from Ivar and Hendrik is because I heard that you've joined CityTech last year. Just to share a bit about CityTech, it's one of the biggest startup events that took in place for the first time in Tokyo last year. They're going to be rebranding and doing as a Sushi Tech. It's going to be happening again in May. And maybe you did a bit of market research there and saw, maybe clients' comments. Did it go well? Did it not go well? But maybe from Ivar, let's start from Ivar. Would you like to share a bit about, what could be the challenges or maybe any tips on how to use these kind of programs? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, as I mentioned, we manufacture hydrogen fuel cell-based electric generators and battery capacity extenders. Then using a hydrogen, definitely, this first of all requires a lot of market research, and Japan is one of the definitely most interesting market segments for us. But we have seen there the same way that it's without the good market research and without actually communicating and being in touch with the local partners from Japan, it's important to and ultimately important to include them to understand the regulations, understand the local market need, and also without such an events like Sushi Tech is going to be this year, it's really hard to build up the network of the potential partners. Sushi Tech is an excellent event for this. That's what we learned last year as well. There's a lot of traders, there's a lot of partners, and majority of the big Japanese companies participating, which allows us to expand the network. And after that, obviously carry out the market research. So that's our experience, and I strongly recommend European startups to participate in such an events.
Great. And sometimes these events actually give you like the true face of what's happening in the market. But maybe, Hendrik, would you like to also add something on this as well?
Yes, thank you. So I say the same words. It is extremely important for us for innovation to have these partnerships everywhere. And Sushi Tech is a great event because it's focusing on the smart city solutions. So this is exactly our field. And because we offer a digital solution, it is a great opportunity to meet Japanese cities, local governments, but also businesses that could use this innovation that we are building in Europe.
Great, thank you. And maybe I'll pass to Anna as well. So you're also thinking about going to global, right? And you joined a program to go to different countries together with Kobe. But maybe for you, were there any like insights or like findings that you found that were interested, or did you find any challenges? For example, maybe you went to other markets, maybe you found something that worked that you expected, and maybe there were something that you didn't expect. Maybe do you want to share a bit about your go-to-market strategies? Yeah.
Okay. So I just started my brand, so I didn't sell yet. However, I'm going to do an exhibition in Italy this month. And I conveyed a lot of research, both of qualitative research, quantitative research, like interviewing many people and also doing questionnaires. And then I got some insights for jewelry. And then I decided all the design and selling channels. But the most difficult things going into another market, like for example in Italy, I don't have so much connection to people, so it's still hard to find their demands, like real voice. Of course, it's very different in what Japanese think and also what Italian people think and their tastes as well. So it's still my challenge to connect people in other market.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very valid point because for example, in Japan, we think as EU markets, then maybe what's happening in Italy and Estonia or UK can be very, very different, and the customers' landscaping can be very different as well. And I think I also want to go back to the point of course, when to even go global. When you're a startup, your resources are very limited, capital, the team is very limited. Maybe, and I will go back, question you again, but I know you started recently with your new venture as well. Why did you decide to even think about going global, or like, why did you decide to let's go for Italian Expo? Yeah.
So my jewelry design is a bit particular and unique. So I thought if I do it only in Japan, it doesn't go spread to many people. It's really limited So I decided to go abroad and find more people that would love my brand. So yeah, it's very still beginning, but I decided to go to other countries.
Amazing. I think that's the first step always. You get a lot of insights as well. And my next question is about local partners. So entering to a new market, of course, you can do on your own, but it's always good to find a local partner, and that's what everybody says. But how to find is also our next level discussion. So maybe Silver, I'll pass to you. I heard that you are also like university-driven. You collaborate a lot with university as well, like not just private sectors but public sector as well. In terms of finding local partners, do you have any take on this when entering to other markets?
So we collaborate with the local university, but also now we are, as for research, we are actually doing cooperation with some other research like institutes, and I think for us it's also important to diversify like the partners and the clients also, so the risk wouldn't be too high. As if you only collaborate with one or few companies, then it's a big risk for the company and then also for the investors.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Maybe Marek as well, if you want to share, how should we find local partner? How did you find local partner? Would you like to also share from the SkyCorp technology perspective?
Yeah, I think without local partners, there's no point in trying market entry unless you're doing B2C SaaS or something simple on a mobile platform. But we're saying like climate, of course, is global, so we know that the challenges are the same in principle, but you need to understand the local regulation and policy, hopefully get the word in and be able to have a dialogue. So going through a local partner that already knows and has that same challenge or is trying to tackle it is the best way to do it. And of course, I think it's always good to find somebody that already is sort of a leading voice or actor in that. So if you're working with a municipality, well, show your own municipality. Like we have City of Tartu there, right? So if you work with drones and on the city level, then this is actually a good way in, is to have our man or local person there on site and then discuss and share and compare, and then we'd go in after that. And of course, you need to be present locally and understand the culture and all of this, but that's a learning curve that you anyways have to do with any market.
Very good points. And I would also like to maybe move to the next question of what are the actual maybe pitfalls or things that we should be aware as a startup or founder when thinking about going global? Because today, this will be, we have a lot of audiences who might be considering going to other market at some point. So I would like to ask Ivar, maybe, you mentioned a lot also about going to different events or programs as well. But what are some common pitfalls that maybe founders or startups should be aware or they should think about it when going to different countries or markets?
Definitely the cultural difference. This is one of the biggest challenges. What we also have been facing in Japanese and Korean market. In that sense, it's important to always include the local institutions or even hire someone into the teams who's well aware of the local culture or who's originally from there. So for the Japanese market, for example, we have been utilizing the local employee from Japan. And also we have been partnering up with the local trade organization who allows us to come over the cultural barrier, as well as understand better what really the customer is looking for. So I think that's the most important part, especially between Estonia and Japan. Even though we are in many sense similar, there's a lot of difference.
Cultural difference, I think this is something that is definitely there, but also there's ways to, for example, you mentioned about hiring or even like meeting with the partners. I mean, there are different factors to the culture difference, but it's a good, very important thing to consider. But I would also love to maybe ask the same question to iLabo as well. So maybe for founders or startups who want to go global, for considering going to other market, what kind of advice would you give in terms of like mistakes that you had in past or things that didn't work out in past? So ちょっと日本語でも簡単にiLaboチームに聞けたらなと思うんですけれども、今回オーディエンスでこれから海外に行きたいなっていうようなスタートアップさんもいらっしゃるのかなと思うんですけれども、同時に海外に行くのって明日から行きとか簡単ではないっていうところもあるかなと思うんです。これまでのご経験だったり皆さんのご実績でどういうところが特に難しかったとか、逆にこういうことを気をつけた方がいいんじゃないかとか何かあればぜひシェアしていただきたいなと思いますが、どうでしょうか。 You're having a very hard face. It's a difficult question. Yes, yes.
特にうちがやってるようなその水素とかエンジンの問題でいくと、各国で法律がいろいろ異なるんですね。技術、テクノロジー、この辺りに関してはいろいろやっていけるんでしょうけれども、クリアしなきゃいけない問題っていうのはやはり法律のところで、いろんな規制のところですね。ここをクリアしないとなかなかそこに入っていけない、うちの分野で言えばね、例えば日本は非常にその高圧ガスの法律が厳しい、車に積んで走るとは何事ぞというような問題にもなる。でやっぱりその特許の問題もいろいろあるんで、それをその日本だけで取ってるのか世界で取ってるのか、そこもクリアしていかないと不必要な衝突が出てくるので、そこをクリアしていかないとやっぱり難しいなと思う。ただやっぱり海外は逆に日本の方ではできなくても海外に行けばできるってこともたくさんあると思うんで、これはやっぱりチャレンジする価値はあるかなと思いますね。はい。
So in terms of our business, we are converting the engine into the hydrogen engine. So it's B2B business, and then the most important thing, the most important thing that we have to aware of is the regulation differences. Of course, Japanese regulation and then American regulation, EU regulation. Of course, the Estonian regulation will be different. So we have to. Then once we made wrong and it ends miserable, of course. So that's the very important thing for us as the engine converting business, as we do the engine converting business. For example, the high pressure law, the 高圧ガス法 is very, very strict in Japan, but there maybe not, or maybe much not that strict in other countries. So there will be possibility that we can make more business in other countries, and we believe that we worth to try to go into the other market.
Great. The regulations definitely especially for the deep tech startups, regulations can be very crucial, but as you said, it could also be a huge opportunity depending on the market or timing as well.
Right.
So I will also starting to kind of close the discussions and moving to kind of the last question, but I have so many lists that I wanted to ask. But I would say regulations, so maybe more about what kind of support would you like to see more from the public sectors that can help startups to go global or to go other markets? maybe would you like to share from eye level, and then I'll maybe ask Anna later, and then back to the startups joining remotely. But what kind of public sectors? How should they support? Like, what are they lacking? そうですね、ちょっと先ほど法律とかレギュレーションの話で、ここが課題になったり、逆に海外だとチャンスになったりっていうところがあるのかなっていうのと、逆にこういった規制っていうのは、政府とか行政とかそういった公共のセクター、パブリックセクターが重要なそうですね、決定権を持っているっていうところでいくと、例えば日本の公共セクターは今後どういう支援をスタートアップにする方がいいのかっていうところもちょっと伺いたいなと思ってます。特に海外に進出したいっていうスタートアップのためにこういう支援があったらいいなっていうのもしあれば、はい、聞かせください。
支援、やっぱりいろんな企業に もしくはスタートアップしている個人、研究している人にチャンスを与えるのが一番だとは思うんですけれども、それがお金なのか場所なのか、いろんなこういった提携するっていう出会いの場を設けるのか、こういった場をどんどん設けてあげないと、結構みんなお金だけって思いがちなんですけれども、お金って別にちょっと支援にはなるけれどもあまり身にならない。どちらかというとこういった、今回のような外国の人との、出会いだったり意見交換だったり、これってすごく今後に向けて大事な重要なことになるかなと思います。
So there are many different types of the support from government, but what we can think about is that, of course, the money, and then a place, location, and then also the this type of the exhibition or the matchup, and then. Well, money seems to be very, very important, and it is important, but money won't help that much because it won't make the connection. So what we think, the most important thing is, something to expand this type of the matchup chance to many startups, and that would be the great. To make a connection to other countries, other startup, that's we think.
Great. Maybe Anna, would you like to add?
Kobe Prefecture and Kobe City supports me a lot already. They have a lot of programs for startups. They support us financially as well, and. If I could ask more, I would like to have connection between startups from other countries, or other programs. But yes, I already have a lot of support, and I would like to.
Great. I think Kobe would love to hear that, your answer. Maybe because the time is running out, I will probably ask one startup from Estonia joining remotely. Maybe what would you like to see more in terms of going global market entries that public sector can support? Anybody who would like to comment on this?
I would just quickly say that Estonia is small and is showing really good results in doing some fast developments and agile developments. So also I think Japanese city governments and, for example, Tartu city government from Estonia can share experiences how to try new innovation in a fast manner.
Thank you so much. Definitely, this talk was one of the talk that shared, insight. It really helps both me to learn about all of your experiences as well as startups as well. So we really hope that this will continue, and yes, maybe see you soon in Japan and Estonia. So thank you to all startups for joining. Welcome to Global Startup Talks. We have startups here at the studio, but also startups joining from Estonia as well. So thank you all for coming. And at this panel, one of the themes we want to discuss is how can emerging tech startups contribute to a more resilient and eco-friendly future? So today we have diverse startups. So it's a casual conversation. It's all about learning from each other. So before I start, asking questions, I would like to first invite the Kobe studio team to maybe share a bit about who you are and what you do at your startup. So I'll ask from Misaki.
Okay, I'm Misaki from Japan, Tokyo, and then I'm a founder of Solid. I'm Misaki Tanaka from Solid from Tokyo, and then I'm like a inclusive design solution company, especially focused on diversity and inclusion and solving social issues as well. Yeah, thank you so much.
Great, thank you. So I'll pass it to you.
Okay, my name is Masato Oda, and I'm the CEO.
Ooh, maybe we have a bit of trouble with the microphone. Let's see. All right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
My name is Masato Oda, and I run a startup named OSINTech. The OSINT means open source intelligence. We enable by that by technology. So we are monitoring all the more than 1,500 governments, departments, and UNs and NGOs, and get those data and extract the insight for that. For sustainable future. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Yes,
okay.
Please.
My name is Radhakrishnan Nair. I'm originally from India, and I've been working for Procter & Gamble for a long 25 years, dealing with the startup, kind of integration into the company. That was one of my role. And right now, I'm actually doing of my own startup. It's a consulting startup, which is actually building a bridge between Japan and India, and including startup in the sustainable area as well. So nice to meet you all, and looking forward to have a discussion. Thank you.
Great. So I'll move it back to virtually. So I will first invite Sim from Bisley.
Hi, I'm Sim, co-founder and CEO of Bisley. And what we are doing is intelligent building solutions for the cost of the conventional ones. So we're trying to solve the solutions that 95% of the buildings globally don't have any automation. And in the future, every building needs to be intelligent for the sustainable future. So we are pushing the costs down through the automation and innovative technology. Thank you.
Great. And moving on to Anastasia from Leo Storage.
Yes, hello. I hope you can hear me. It's very nice to be here. So my name is Anastasia, and I'm a sales executive at Leo Storage. And what we do is we offer energy efficient and cost-effective data storage solution for any data-intensive institution like public archives or universities, healthcare companies. And we try to solve this challenge of growing data amounts that, so to store all the data that is created every day, you need a lot of energy. And this means a lot of carbon footprint, a bigger carbon footprint. So what we're trying to do is to solve this issue by offering a solution that consumes less energy and keeps this data in an eco-friendly way.
Amazing, thank you. And last but not least, Glenn from Galtech.
Hi, I'm Glenn, the CEO of Galtech from Estonia. And we make fuel cells based on our own proprietary technology for portable and mobile devices.
Great. Okay, so we'll hear more from each startups. But my first, so in terms of startups contributing to a more sustainable and eco-friendly future, there are different ways and different verticals or even technologies that can be implemented. And we, of course, there can be the energy perspective. Some can go through smart cities or circular economy, or it could be clean water solutions, or maybe platform like you mentioned, or transportation, and so on, so on. So my first question to maybe all of you is that what kind of unique innovations that does your startup bring to table in terms of promoting sustainability in industries? So maybe I'll first start the opposite way round. So maybe from Glenn, if you want to share a bit about your experience.
Yeah, so we're in the energy domain, basically utilizing the fuel cell technology, which is an ancient old technology. As far as I know, it's actually Japan is one of the most prevalent countries where it's actually used in real life. But since we have a university background, so we're a university spin-off, we have a lot of PhDs in our company, so we bring our own innovation to the table. Then it's something that I really feel passionate about is the innovation coming out of the academia. Things that people didn't think were possible, but there are people out there working on these things, and this is the case with us too. We have our own fuel cell technology, which leverages materials that nobody else can make, and this helps us make the world's smallest fuel cells. So this is kind of where I'm really passionate about finding the, this is kind of the deep tech, hard tech kind of things, innovations that you can touch with your hands. This is kind of our domain.
Amazing. Maybe we'll try to switch in. So maybe for as Amila India, would you like to maybe share a bit about your innovation and technology too?
Do I need to use this one, or I can just have, okay, this is fine, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't offer any technology or solutions. Rather, we help in terms of creating ecosystem for companies to collaborate each other. For example, I mean, in the sustainability space, what happens is unless you have a whole ecosystem, it doesn't work. You cannot work alone. So obviously start with a startup which has a unique disruptive ideas, and then agility to make prototype and move forward. And then second comes the corporations where they have money and the muscles to put that into real practical applications. And the third one, the government agencies, which obviously have regulations and stuff like that. And then finally, you also have the society. So we need to really combine all these things together to create an ecosystem. So that's where we play a role in terms of connecting companies between, at this point of time, Japan and India. So that's what we tried to do, actually, in creating the ecosystem to have a successful implementation of the sustainable technologies into the company and society. Thank you.
Great. So maybe I'll actually move it back to Anastasia. Maybe if you want to also share about your experience too.
Yes, sure. What we're trying to do is, if we're talking about data storage, what are this like classical widespread solution? Right now, for instance, we're talking about media and post-production. People still use a lot of tapes, basically because it's energy efficient, because you almost don't need electricity to power them up. But the problem with the tapes is that if you need to extract the data very fast, you cannot do that. Now it could take like months, and companies have a lot of data. So this is one problem with this data storage. Second problem is we have HDDs, hard drives, and like widespread solution like AWS, basically public clouds, or Microsoft Azure, or anything else. They are very they're very costly, and they demands like a lot of money for different features that if you want to use them. But although they allow to extract the data fast. So what we're trying to do with the data storage is to combine these two, to solve these two issues of fast data retrieval and extraction, but at the same time keeping it eco-friendly, as the case with the tapes. And this is kind of unique feature that we bring to the market, and we want to make it more available to not only like global players and huge players, but to the smaller companies who want to contribute to the sustainable to the way they deal with the business in the sustainable manner. So yes, that's what we're trying to do here with the data storage.
Great. And maybe Sim from Bisley, if you want to continue on this.
Yes, yes, sure. So what we are solving is the problem that only 1 to 5% of new builds globally are smart. And it has been a super premium thing so far. But at the same time, from building automation and smart buildings, there's lots of energy savings to be achieved. So as we had no legacy, and everybody was also saying that this sector or this business is not scalable. So we took on the challenge to how to solve it so that everybody could afford smart buildings. And we realized that actually the problem is not about automation hardware, but it's related engineering costs. So actually the overheads are massive and there's a correlation. So obviously the engineering costs in Japan, for example, are high, very high. And because of that, the penetration of smart buildings is very low. And through standardization and the single cloud platform, starting from the hardware manufacturing and ending with intelligent building management solution, we are able to take the cost down, push the quality up, and the maximum, so the energy savings over time. So that's the problem that we are solving with our platform.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So coming back to the Kobe studio as well, probably if you could maybe share from Masato-san. Yes.
Okay. When we consider the meanings of how to contribute to the bright future by startups, in this era, startup should not aim the more convenient or more cheap or more better. We need to change the paradigm, I think. And originally, startup aim a sustainable future. But the difficulties is when we see the world around, there's too many greenwashes. So the point is, if the entrepreneur manages that company with goodwill, in that case, maybe the lacking point is the whole picture, the world vision. That's why we are providing the intelligence. It is called intelligence. So by observing the world discussion and discussion point, grasping discussion point, we'd like to change the direction of the management. That is what we are providing. Yes, thank you.
Great. Maybe Misaki-san, would you like to also share?
I think it's really same as Masato-san, because now we focus on diversity and inclusion based on the inclusive design. Then, for example, my team member always talk about that how we focus on sustainability is based on like emotional durability is the most important things, because if we use some sustainable materials for the fashion product or any product, but if we use that kind of sustainable material, but if we throw away so quickly, it's not sustainable, right? So emotional durability is most important things to focus on sustainability, I think.
Great, which actually leads me to the next question of how should we even measure impact? Because let's say in a startup, for example, we could talk about amount of like revenues. It could be about fundraisings. But as the startups who are joining today, you're all doing more than that. You're providing new impact, new values to the society, which could be also challenging at the same time. And do we have a global standard? It's also a very difficult topic because everybody have different standards to actually measure impact. So maybe I would like to ask, at your startup, how are you measuring the impact? Or maybe it could be environmental impact, it could be other impacts. And maybe how are you checking your progress towards the goal? So it's a big question, but does anybody from Kobe Studio want to first share?
Okay, now I'm promoting the different sectors conversation. So we are connecting different sectors to solve, for example, circulation issue like that. That is, maybe the era has changed, and we separate the division to division in the past. But if we seek one division, maybe we cannot find the solution. So we need to communicate with other sectors. I think that is the important thing. And what my measure is how we can connect and
we can generate the value by conversation or yes.
Great.
I think I echo the same view in the sense that, as I mentioned in the beginning, that ecosystem is an important thing. So it's exactly reflects the same aspect as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So ecosystem, collaborations,
exactly.
how to like conversations, these connecting the dots, those are also very important.
So that will lead to some kind of a measures in the sense how successful the things are, how much ecosystem you penetrated into, and then make a difference actually there.
Definitely. And maybe I will also try to do vice versa in terms, I would maybe like to ask Sim from Bisley as well. You're tackling also in the real estate industries, and when we look at in terms of carbon footprint or circular economy, the whole constructions or like the real estate can also play a huge role creating impact. So maybe at your startup, how are you measuring impact, environment impact? Maybe would you like to share on this part?
Yes, it's quite straightforward. So I mentioned the market sizes. So in Estonia, where we started off, also 3% of the new builds had some automations and smartness in them. So we measure, first of all, the energy savings and then the market increase. So we have last year, after 3 years of operations, of the total new builds market, 30% of the buildings were smart. So the growth of the smart building market was 10 times. And at the same time, then we measure, in case of upgrades of the existing buildings, it's easy to measure the energy savings by comparing the data, which in average is a little bit over 50% in our case. And then with the new buildings, it's a little bit trickier. So we kind of measure the savings based on the baseline of the conventional buildings. But it's all based on numbers. So no, we are able to measure the exact impact in saved energy and CO2.
Great, thank you, and very, very specific as well. And maybe Anastasia, would you like to also share about how your company is tracking the environmental impact? Maybe you're...
Yes, sure. Yes, we have actually very clear number, which is 43%. And we get this by combination of software and hardware that we use, because we use special drives that just because of the way they're built, they allow to store more data on a single drive. And our software also allows to somehow use less drives to be active all the time and to power off some of the drives and to call the electricity. And because of that, we have this clear number that it's 43%. So basically every company, every institution that is about to use our solution, they will save up to 43% on the electricity. So yes, this is the number that we have. Yep.
Great. And maybe Glenn as well. Would you like to also share about, we've heard a bit about how you're collaborating or selected with the NATO accelerator and so on. So, but maybe in terms of measuring the impact, maybe would you have some say on this?
Yeah, we are kind of in a totally paradigm-changing business because this kind of technology was never thought to be even possible. This kind of small fuel cells, but we're all about increasing energy efficiency. So basically, using less energy to do more work, which consequently has positive effects on all the climate questions and environmental questions too, because we will see how the green energy economy will come by. It's coming, in terms of green hydrogen and all that, but it's not here yet. So fuel cell actually is a device that allows to be integrated into the ecosystem right now, even with fossil fuels, and still decrease the environmental impact that it has. So it is kind of difficult because we are doing something that has never been done before. So it's hard to measure the exact impact today, but we are looking kind of long term, and the possibilities of integrating these kind of systems into every possible electronic or electric device can have a massive impact on what exactly it means to have a grid or fuel cells or fuel distribution network. So we'll see what the exact impact will be, but in our minds, we are aiming big, and energy efficiency is really a question.
And this is a lot to do with investing into future as well. And I would like to also maybe ask Misaki, since of course it's about environmental impact, but this also, when we look at down, it relates to DEI impact as well. So maybe at your company, what are you measuring? What are the things that you like to see in terms of measurement?
Yeah, it's quite a difficult question for me also. Of course, we can set some KPI or something, like how much they feel like more confidence about us before and after, compare with them. But always we check KPI, but it's not correct answer. We cannot get the correct answer from that person. So we should see anyone, so one by one, and we should talk each other more deeply. Then we can see what happened in their mind or something like that. So we cannot set specific KPI, honestly.
Definitely, at the end of the day, it's about each individual. Like if we're willing to invest in all the products that you're building. And there were some keywords about ecosystem or supporters. And maybe I would like to also ask about this, because as a startup, of course, you need a supporter, you need a partnership, you need a collaborations. But it's always, if you are starting on your own venture, how do you even find a successful partnership? This is something that I think it's always not you don't have the textbook to share. So maybe from I'm now looking at the screen. So to my friends from Estonia, so maybe if you could share some of the successful partnerships or collaboration that worked for your company to grow your business, or maybe to even have a more impact on this sustainable, eco-friendly future. So maybe I will ask Anastasia, would you like to start?
Yes, sure. So basically, Lil Storage has a parent company, and the parent company was operating in this field of data storage for 7 or 6 years, and they mainly operate with the hardware solutions. So we already have this experience and connections that we use. But what is also important for us is that the special drives that we use, they're produced and manufactured by Western Digital, which is global player, yes, and they themselves very interested in providing this sustainable solution for a wider market and promoting that. So our the way we work is like collaboration. We have a common goal of promoting the sustainable solution. So what they do is they offer hardware for us, and we kind of sell it. I don't want to use the word selling, but just trying to give people different options of that the legacy solutions that they're using, they maybe not be the best one, and maybe the solution could be also sustainable and cost effective at the same time, because this is kind of a myth that if it's eco-friendly, usually you should supposed to pay more for that. But in case of our collaboration, we're trying to prove that you can have sustainable and cost-effective solution at the same time. So maybe we're a little bit more lucky in this case because we have this partnership, but at the same time, the partnership was born because of this common idea of bringing something more sustainable, that is more eco-friendly for the future of us all. Yes.
Great. And maybe Sim, would you like to also share any successful partnerships or collaborations that for your company too?
Yes, sure. So I think I would say that it's different in different stages. So when developing the product, we partnered with the universities and used the grants. because our technology basically includes wide spectrum of different things related to building. So it's automation, but it's light, it's climate, and everything so forth. And when the product was ready, then it's more about getting it piloted with the current market players. So partnerships with real estate funds and real estate developers were key there. And we were able to, get good use cases. And then from there on, obviously partnerships with, first of all, with the ESG certification companies who, want to get higher impact, and our technologies enable that. But I would also mention that choosing the investors and VCs correctly, because those partnerships become very important in journey ahead. So different partnerships in different stages.
Mm-hmm. Good point. And this, I know that your company also focus on like B2B part as well. So private, not just the public sectors, but the private collaboration between, like you mentioned, VCs and corporates as well. So this plays a huge role too. And I know the time is running out, but I also want to ask Glenn as well for examples of successful collaborations and partnerships from your side.
Yeah, we have found a really great place for ourselves. We're here in Tartu, Estonia, which is not the capital. It's not the biggest place, but really the local science park and the university have been great partners for us, especially for a starting company. And I think if you have a good idea and you manage to communicate that idea to people, then it's not that hard to find good partners, like it was mentioned, like VCs, There are thousands of them out there, but there's always somebody who resonates with you, and you can really make good partnerships. And we have, and the government support here is pretty good too. So it's easy to find partners who are like-minded, actually.
Great. Maybe I'll come back to Japan with a bit of different questions. So I think there's also successes, but also challenges as well. And maybe to sum it up, what would you like to see more from the ecosystem, or even from public sectors or private sectors? Like, what kind of support would you like to see more from the ecosystem or community? Just to sum up this whole conversation, maybe any wishes from the founders here at the studio?
Well, I think the important part is the information which is available to, for example, even partnership people look for. So the information regarding the government support systems, or even the venture capital support systems, or even some of the events like this, that could potentially be quite a bit of a starter in terms of beginning to understand what the partnership and ecosystem we can build. Mm-hmm. So I think that could potentially be the information available in the place is very important. Yeah. Great. One point, actually. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. May I? The government support. If I were like this panel discussion, we are connected each other cross borders. Mm-hmm. There's two things that we can cross borders easily. The one is money, but second one is wisdom. Mm-hmm. So to create a sustainable future, we are seeking the opportunity to talk cross borders like this. So this kind of support is very attractive for me. Mm-hmm. Yes, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. And then I feel like when we are the seed stage, we need so many the money and the idea and everything. But now we are like a Series A, so not only the money issue. We want to find looking for some potential client, but basically in Japan is corporate doesn't take action easily, so we need to take action for other overseas or some things. But we don't have any connect other countries, so we want to. Yeah, company or government want to support us, like to connect each other from the startup, Japanese or that kind of startup to the other countries, corporates as well. Mm-hmm. I think.
Great. So we were hearing a lot about collaborations, wisdom sharing, not just the capital, but wisdom or knowledge sharing. And I think today we have a lot of amazing role models of founders and startups here with us. So I love to continue this discussion, but sadly I have to stop here. But I really hope that this will continue to really sharing more wisdoms and knowledge for all to really have a brighter future and create an impact. So thank you all for joining today, and looking forward to sharing more in the future. Next, we would love to introduce 8 innovative startups. So first, Bisley. I would love to invite Bisley remotely joining. And each startup will have 3 minutes to pitch. So if you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, intelligent buildings, what are those? So intelligent buildings are smart buildings that actually work and where energy efficiency and customer experience improves over time. And what we are doing is making intelligent buildings available for everyone. So every building deserves to be intelligent, but today 95% are not even smart. And out of 5% that can afford to be smart, 95% don't work properly. So it's a huge problem. And it's there because of the conventional building automation technologies are very old and involve a lot of engineering work. And because of that, vast majority of corporations and organizations are not able to achieve their ESG goals. And looking deeper into the problem of the engineering costs and the industry overall, so the problem is that there's no standardization. So every smart building is a bespoke solution that involves a lot of engineering costs in each stage, and also there are a lot of proprietary old standards that are not compliant with each other. And all this ends with a picture here, which is dependent on a country. So actually, in Japan, it's roughly 90% is engineering overhead cost, and the hardware is a minor problem. So the problem is there, and what we are doing about it. So we have created a single cloud platform that starts from the hardware manufacturing and ends with the intelligent building management solution. And in between, there's a patented solution which is based on a digital twin that's used in the sales, installation, and running of the buildings. And this helps to push the cost down, quality up, and maximize the energy savings over time. The hardware is using the latest technologies. It's secure and it's cost effective. Then all the third-party existing devices are integrated with the platform once and then reused within all the projects by the integrators. And finally, the customer applications and the intelligent building management solution is a result driven by the intelligent, universal digital twin configurator. And then this helps to push the costs down to the level that is feasible for the whole market. And we have proven that in Estonia. So as I mentioned before, we have increased the market size in a couple of years, 10 times without any incentives. And it's because of the planning is cheaper, installation is quicker, handover is instant, and the systems are remotely manageable and always up to date for all the customers. I mean, the functionality-wise, the smart buildings have been there, both for offices and homes, but they haven't been available because of the cost and quality issues. And as you can see, the impact from the mass deployment of such solutions is very big. And actually, the potential impact of added carbon is actually much bigger than from the ongoing EV revolution. So basically, this is it. So we are here to provide energy efficient, intelligent buildings at the cost of the conventional ones. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Bisley. So the next startup I would like to introduce is Leo Storage. So if you're here with us virtually, the floor is yours.
So yes, hello everyone once again. My name is Anastasia and I'm sales executive in Lale Storage, and I'm very happy here to have this chance to talk about our company today. So clicker's working, good. What are we doing? Lale Storage addresses the challenges of growing data amount. So as you can see on this picture, by next year, the world will have 3 times more data than in year 2020. And the problem is that people tend to produce more data, and any head of IT department would rather buy additional capacity than take responsibility and delete any kind of data that we have. So here's 2 facts to unfold. The scale of this challenge is that one data center usually uses as much electricity as 50,000 homes. And the second fact is even more counterintuitive, that the environmental impact of cloud storage has already surpassed the impact of the whole aviation industry. So the formula looks like this. It's exponential data growth multiplied by data storage environmental impact. And though the aviation industry has a huge carbon footprint, as we can all know, it is not scaling as much as data, which is now generated even greater impact and will be expanded exponentially. So, and the problem is that well-known and widespread solutions are lacking either being green or being able to extract the growing data within a reasonable time frame. So what Lale Storage is trying to do is that, as I mentioned, the traditional solution for backup and archival storage are tapes. And its only advantage is keeping the data almost without electricity. And instead of terabytes, many companies right now, these days, are dealing with the petabytes of even exabytes of data. And that's why now it takes months instead of days and weeks to retrieve this data that they need. And hard drive-based storage contrary to the tapes actually may offer this fast data extraction, but it's not eco-friendly because it uses a lot of electricity. And what if we could adapt HDD storage to be more energy efficient while still maintaining fast data retrieval? So that's what Lale Storage does. Our software enhances HDD technology, speeding it up, making it environmentally friendly, and optimizing it for large data storage. We use special hard drives manufactured by Western Digital, and these drives achieve more compact data storage, reducing both electricity and consumption and cost by 18%. And additionally, it features a unique capability to completely shut off power of the drives, boosting energy efficiency by at least 25%. And this is how we get the number of 43% provided in the last slide. So this solution allows customers who are directly responsible for the data center expenses, firstly, to enjoy rapid data access, second, lower energy use, and last, but certainly not least, pay as much as for the tape storage. If you're talking about people who are standing behind the solution, so our team boasts a strong record of accomplishments in designing and deploying infrastructure at the scale of hundreds of petabytes. And also recently, we announced our collaboration with University of Tartu, and this partnership involves working closely with computer scientists to enhance data storage algorithms. Here you can see the list of fields that are data intensive by nature, and those could benefit from our solution. For instance, if we're talking about Japan, we know that smart city is a huge trend here, and our solution could bring additional value, for instance, for the video surveillance data management or any other possible data management related to the smart city services. We are very looking forward to discover these types of management. So if you yourself recognize yourself as a data-heavy organization, do not hesitate to approach me after the speech. Would love to talk about that. And talking more precisely about sustainability, we are more than just data storage company. We're deeply committed to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So firstly, we hold energy efficiency highly, lowering consumption by up to 43%. That aligns with the goal number 7, access to affordable and sustainable energy for all. Secondly, we aim to enhance technological capabilities supporting goal number 9, which is resilient infrastructure. And last but not least, we use special helium-filled hard drives that last longer and consume less energy, and it makes waste and carbon emissions lower and contributes to the goal number 12. So Many successful products lost their competitive edge due to lack of innovation and execution. And innovation is essential in today's fast-paced world to stay relevant and to prepare for the future. So what we work to do is to let's discuss modern storage solutions to ensure your business remains operational and competitive, both now and in the future. And thank you so much for the attention, and thank you for the chance to talk about our sustainable solution here. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to approach me by this email. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Rail Storage. All right, so the next startup I would like to invite is iLavo, and we're streaming from Kobe studio. So we'll have 3 minutes, and the floor is yours, and he'll be pitching in Japanese, and later we'll have it English subtitles. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. はい、アイラボの小松と申します。よろしくお願いします。うちはですね、水素エンジン、特に大きな排気量のトラックを水素エンジンで走るように改造するカンパニーとなっております。まず、7番目、SDGs でいうと7番目、11番目、13番目、これに関して、貢献しようという思いでやってます。
次ですね。
で、2019年に会社が設立されてからいろんな流れ、もう4年ほど経ってますけど、流れはあるんですけれども、その時にまず2023年、ここにかなり大きな取り組みがありました。一番は、エンジンを作っているいろんなメーカーが私どもに取引を申し出てくれて、資本提携をしてくれました TPR、あとトヨツですね。でそして、10月にですねトラックショーの方にも出ました。これ後で説明します。で、11月になってからですね、これ JR 東海、日本のトップの鉄道会社です。こちらとの業務提携もしました。でこれからもっともっといろんな発表をするんですが、今はシークレットなんで、内緒です。で、これ皆さん、知ってる通りクライメートクロック、日本では渋谷にあるみたいです。で渋谷にあるもう6年を切って、もう気候変動のカウントダウンが始まってます。これに対して、きちっと、取り組んでいかないといけない、もう地球は沸騰寸前ということですね。これは CO2 がかなりの影響になっています。そして、今うちが作っているエンジン、トラックですね。これはエンジンを水素で動くようにエンジンを変えます。そして燃料を軽油から水素に変えるということで、水素タンクを積んでます。この車が今現在走ってます。本当かいっていう部分があるんですけれども、実際に去年の10月、こちらに富士スピードウェイで、ジャパントラックショーというのが開催されまして、ここでうちのトラックが実際にサーキットを走りました。これはもしかしたら、日本初もしくは世界初で水素エンジンのトラックが、公認のサーキットを走ったということになります。かなり多くの方が見学にいらっしゃいました。そして、今はどこを走っているかといいますと、皆さんご存知東京ディズニーランド、そして日本の玄関口羽田空港、この間をこのトラックがお客様の荷物、主に旅行者のスーツケースを満載してですね、毎日ここの間を走っています。そして今これがどこを走っているかというところなんですけれども、このぐるぐるっと丸のところがですね東京ディズニー、リゾートですね。そして、左の下の方羽田空港、この間を毎日走ってます。そして東京ディズニーとの拡大がこれです。でこれはですね、東京ディズニーリゾートの中に周りにいろんなホテルがたくさんあります。このホテルに宿泊するお客さんのスーツケース、荷物を毎日毎日トラックに積んで、そして羽田空港まで運ぶという非常に大事な仕事をしております。これが水素エンジントラックで走っているルートです。さあこれだけかってことになります。先ほどちょっと言いました JR 東海との提携、これはうちの方では言ってないんですけれども、 JR 東海の社長がですね世界初という強いキーワードを持って発表しました。これは今日本の中でも電気で走ってない路線あります。でそこをディーゼルエンジンのトラック電車がですねシリーズハイブリッドという電車が走っています。そこのエンジンの部分を水素エンジンに変えて、そして水素で電車を走らせようという試みをやっていきます。これも2、3年のうちに実現化させるという形になっています。以上ですね。これは今回の SDGs のチャレンジになりますので、割愛しますので、アイラボという会社はこんな会社になります。以上です。
Thank you so much, iLavo, for sharing. All right. So the next startup I would love to invite from Kobe Studio is Return to Nature. So the floor is yours, and please give a warm welcome to Return to Nature.
Am I looking down? Okay. Hello, I'm Yucha, co-founder of Return to Nature. and we operate Junkanso. In English, we call it circular enchantment of ashes, but it doesn't signify the meaning properly, so I'm stick to the Junkanso. I'm just going to talk about Junkanso a little bit. It's a new way of enchantment ashes. Can you? Right, I'm just going to talk about, let me start with the social situation surrounding grapes in Japan. Well, hi. Japan is facing high mortality society, and it is said that 4,500 people would die per day by 2040. And as a result, problems related to grapes are rapidly increasing as well. According to the research, 50% of students are concerned with their grapes will become abundant someday. Abandoned grapes, what I mean by abandoned grapes is that the grapes that has no successors and are left unattended without any care. And as a result, tree burial has become more popular than a typical stone grapes. However, tree burial, although it has good name on it, but it's not much different from the stones. Look at this. It's really uniform landscape with tombstones lined up, and the remains do not return to nature. So you could say that in short, tree burial is not really clean. That's why we have come up with Junkanso, return to nature. Junkanso is an interment of ashes, one of the methods, and that popularizes the remains after the cremation and mixes with forest soil and buries them directly into the forest soil. So it's really simple, but for some reason it has not been done yet in Japan until now. But Japan is really forest country with 70% of land is covered by the forest, but most of them are left unattended and need maintenance. Well, what Junkanso does is it connects this, which happens to everyone, and to forest building, and propose new grapes that is gentle to both people and environment. And Junkanso can be contracted before you passed away, so you can spend like chill time, feel relax while you are alive. And after you passed away, you will return to nature with Junkanso. Again, Junkanso is really simple method of interment of ashes, but it's supervised by a professor of the soil science at Kobe University, and is based on scientific evidence. With Junkanso, remains become nutrition for trees, and human life is incorporated into the cycle of nature. And Junkanso also eliminates management target. It means it removes the burden of the family and protects the forest landscape. So there is no tombstones for Junkanso, unlike tree burial or stone graves, and you don't need a maintenance or successors as well. And for the people, it has benefit as well. Visiting graves become shinrin, forest bathing. And we donate a portion of our sales to forest compensation organization, and contribute to forest conservation both domestically and internationally. And in Japan, only the government or religious corporation can operate cemeteries. So our company operates Junkanso in a collaboration with a temple called Nosumio-Kensan. It is a famous and historic temple in Kansai, located at the top of the mountain. And the temple also known for high awareness for the forest conservation, but it owns a vast amounts of forest and cannot conserve all. This is a forest, one part of the forest of the Myokensan, and it has been abandoned for many years. But with Junkanso, we thinned the artificial forest properly, and the forest came back to life. And finally, let me introduce some voice of our contractor. What they say was, when we passed away, we will be happy because we are able to remember this forest. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Return to nature. So the next startup I would love to introduce from the studio is LifeShot. So LifeShot, if you could come here, the stage is yours.
はい、はい。で、我々はすごいシンプルです。グローバルフォトグラファーマッチングサービスです。で、多くの観光客もすごいいい写真を撮りたがっているんですね。で、みんなね、やっぱりいい写真を撮れないんですよ。で、なんでかっていうと、やっぱりいいカメラ持ってっても、結局やっぱセルフィーでしか撮れないと。あるいは他の人に写真を撮ってくださいと言っても、やっぱり満足できるような写真は出ません。我々は右のような素敵な写真を国籍に撮らず撮りたいです。で、日本人も外国人もそうなんですけれども、我々は日本人もやっぱりこのような写真を撮りたいです。で、こういう写真を外国で撮るためにはやっぱり我々はフォトグラファーが必要になるんですね。ただやっぱりもうtoo expensive、書いてる通りにやっぱり$200、$300とか書いてあります。で、例えばアメリカ人が日本に来ててもフォトグラファーを探しててもやっぱりコミュニケーションができない場合が結構多くありますね。かつ英語ができるフォトグラファーを探すことも非常に難しいです。で、我々はそのフォトグラファーを日本の大学生を連議を使用できる人を使おうと思いました。彼らは英語、中国語、台湾語、例えばフランス語とか使いたいです。ただそれを我々はカメラマンとして育成して、いろんな国の大学生と観光客をマッチングさせようっていうプランを考えております。で、実際我々はアプリケーションを開発してジャパニーズ京都でやってみたんですけれども、大学生を探してで海外観光客とマッチングして実際撮った写真なんですけれども、非常に評判があと売り上げの方がすごい良かったです。で、我々のビジネスモデルなんですけれども、最初フォトグラファーに頼んだら$200あるいは$300っていうやつが最初は$40で撮影ができると。で、あと欲しい写真は$0.1でか$0.2で欲しい写真だけダウンロードしてくださいというビジネスモデルをしております。こうすることによって顧客は欲しい写真だけダウンロードすることができて、かつもう非常に安い金額で撮影ができるということになります。で、実際ワークフローなんですけれども、実際にその顧客がどういうフォトグラファーなのかっていうのを見て、でチャットをして、で実際写真を撮って、で最後にアプリケーションでダウンロードするっていう仕組みとなっています。で、我々のポジショニングマップなんですけれども、まだ大学生を使ってグローバルフォトグラファーマッチングサービスはまだ見たことないので、我々がその道を日本で開拓していこうと思います。で、こちらは我々のチームとなっております。ありがとうございます。
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so the next startup is going to be Skype Cove Technologies. So please welcome Skype Technology. Yes, you're here and we're checking the slides and it looks ready. So the floor is yours.
Yes, hello and again, Koban. Good to be back here. I'm Mark of Skycop Technologies. The picture you see in the background is taken from outside of our HQ here in Tartu. And if you don't believe me, then you can just visit us. You're always welcome. So let's continue. Oops. Too many slides. That's the correct one. So that's the picture of today. We have more and more forest fires, food security issues, traffic increasing, yet we're trying to move over to distributed renewable energy. And all of that needs security and maintenance as well, in addition to the general public requiring more services and better services, especially when it comes to life-saving goods and cargo. Right. Actually, not the right slide deck for some reason, but well, I'll try to manage with that in that case, because it should be the correct slides actually. Right, it's a bit slow, but here are some lessons we've learned in terms of what happens when you put drones in a simple delivery case without any automation included in that. The final cost ends up very unfeasible, and you have to keep on subsidizing that. So the current solutions are not really sustainable and able to keep up with the full demand. So our lessons learned in that is to develop the ecosystem towards full automation so that one pilot can handle multiple drones rather than driving and flying as you do with today's battery drones. Because of the short range, you have to be able to automate them completely remotely, and of course improve the operational workflow in the process in order to achieve full mission readiness. And here you can see a simple comparison of what happens when you introduce hydrogen drones rather than just battery drones. You increase the area of operations dramatically. You also reduce the future traffic in the air in the process by being able to cover large areas with just one drone. For example, any city could just use one hydrogen drone and be able to cover their vicinity around it. And of course, it makes a big difference in the life cycle assessment and sustainability of those operations as well. So it's necessary to combine all of these technologies into single, let's say, drone airports and manage that on common standards. Main use cases, of course, are in surveillance, critical infrastructure monitoring, incident response, and any medical services that you can provide with that. And as an ecosystem actor, we've been working with standardization bodies in the European Commission, nationally as well, with different governments and different cities and actors to generate those standards. And here's just an example of some of the activities we're undertaking here in Tartu already from this year to achieve that full mission readiness and standardization of various systems so that you can have just singular infrastructure but generate multiple use cases out of that and react fast without any waiting times or other issues that arise with that. Sorry for the confusing slides. Again, they're not right ones, but that's the roadmap we're looking at from here. So we're developing together with various other initiatives and moving towards this living lab scenarios for municipalities themselves as well. And of course, constant learning, education, and cooperation has to go with that. So that's it from my side. Feel free to get in touch and looking forward to cooperation.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much for sharing. And the next startup we would love to invite from the studio is P-Lab. So P-Lab, if you could join us on the stage. All right. So please welcome P-Lab.
Hello, my name is Alyssa, and I am a business manager at P-Lab. P-Lab is a Japanese B2B green tech startup that manufactures pineapple leather from leftover leaves, and I'm wearing it right now. We are a team of 7 with Jim as the founder/CEO, and I am here as the representative of Tokyo. Well, did you know that leather is the most damaging fashion material to the environment? Well, as you can see from these numbers, the production process of leather, animal leather, is very detrimental. It wastes gallons, tons and gallons of water and contaminates, causing the risk in cancer for tannery workers. The demand of leather is growing by 5% annually, and we cannot stop the people to buy leather. And hence, we came up with a solution by manufacturing pineapple leather from leftover pineapple leaves. And our vision is to replace 1% of the existing leather by 2030 with plant-based leather. Also, our missions are to upcycle food loss, prevent animal cruelty, and reduce carbon emission. Our business model is a pretty simple B2B model. We source raw materials, as in pineapple leaves, and also our main source of revenue is pineapple leather and leather-made merchandise. Well, our target market is the Asian plant-based leather market, which is the size of $650 million. And this is a comparison between our pineapple leather and animal leather. So our pineapple leather is so much lighter, durable, waterproof, scratch-proof, heat-resistant, and very realistic. And well, compared to animal leather, it's so much more affordable. And also, last but not least, the carbon emission rate is a lot lower than animal leather. Here's the products that we have made so far. Since we have founded, we have made a pineapple randoseru, which is a typical school bag for elementary schoolers in Japan. We made furnitures for 5-star hotels in St. Regis. And this apron that I'm wearing right now is the aprons that bartenders in Intercontinental Osaka actually wear. Here are the sample customers. We've sold our leather to like Red Bull, several large, big name automobile companies, and some hotels and brands and so forth. We are currently in discussion with some tech companies and other automobile companies that are not listed here. We have a healthy margin. Our leather is very affordable, starting from $28, and we sell it around 40 USD. And also, we can produce up to 1 million meters square of pineapple leather annually. Well, we had a successful year in 2023 thanks to the manufacturing of randoseru. And this is our revenue projection. We are planning to partner up with at least 50 large companies and generate about $100 million revenue. We are currently trying to raise 1 million USD fund, and also we are trying to make about $10 million of sales within the next 12 months. Here is our impact. We have manufactured around 8,000 meters squared of pineapple leather as of 2023 December, which is about 16,000 tote bags, A4 size tote bags, and that calculates to 950 tons of CO2 emission. Well, thank you so much for listening, and yep, that is it.
Great, thank you so much, Pilav. All right. So next startup we're going to welcome on the stage is Osintech from Kobe Studio. So you have 3 minutes, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Masato from Kobe, Japan, but I'm a e-residency of Estonia. Okay, my company Osintech manages the product Rule Watcher, and we are running also a think tank, so social think tank. So I'm promoting intelligence management. Yes, let me share my experience. This is maybe you may know about the Prius, Toyota's hybrid car, but Prius in China was not recognized as an eco car. Eco car subsidy will be adapted only for Volkswagen. That impact was more than $200 billion. So I'm wondering what is eco-good, eco-friendly, and what is not eco-good? Who decides? So this regulation I focused on, and after that I noticed that maybe from Brussels, those kind of ethical rules, environment or human rights are coming. So the person noticed that structure, tried to get information, but the huge volume and the language barrier are the challenges. So we invented Rule Watcher. So Rule Watcher getting data from governments, UNs, NGOs, so no mass media, only direct information to visualize environmental data and human rights data. So this Rule Watcher recognized Global Top 100 by UNESCO. So grasp the international trend with big data. And now Rule Watchers are expanding. For example, Japan government to UNs or NGOs, international NGOs. As a platform for diverse stakeholders, for example, hydrogen strategy planning by enterprise, single-use and business is by universities. Yeah. Anyway, the Rule Watcher handles these themes related to the SDGs. So, request to Estonia. Please contact me, universities or professors. If you integrate Rule Watcher to your university, will raise the quality of researches. Or governments, like Japan governments, policy making should be done based on the latest international intelligence. And this is for think tanks. We are trying to build worldwide social think tank network. So for one partner think tanks, we provide Rule Watcher, especially one think tank per area free. So please contact me. Let's act to global issue together with the power of intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you, Osenjak, for your great pitch. So I would like to thank all of the startups who pitched today with us today. And today at Meguru Summit from Kobe, we have these pitches as well as other demo booths and conferences happening. So I'm going to quickly ask Rumor, so what's happening right now at the conference? Let's tune in.
Kobe has world-famous beef. Yummy. Estonia has little fish called raim. Yummy. But before we get into discussion of food tech innovation, Masa-san, yes. What is your product about and what makes it special?
Okay. We Ninja Foods provide very healthy plant-based binding material for food. So that is very healthy. So because the usual binder is people use like starch syrup or fat or other things, but that is very, very healthy, almost 0 calories, 0 sugar. Yeah.
Okay, besides talking about food, it's time to taste it as well. So we have a privilege premiere launch of something new. It looks very good, but I don't know what it is. So Yoshi-san, could you explain what it is while I'm tasting it?
Okay, this is actually using the shiso ribs, which is very unique in Japanese, very flavor ribs, kind of Genovese style. And this one is a fermented Japanese citrus and also Japanese kind of radish. This is quite a good combination of, especially on your mouth. How do you feel?
I feel I'm gonna stay here again longer. So, guys on the stage, I know you are hungry, but next floor is yours again.
At this panel, we're going to explore about innovation and challenges in the evolving landscape of food tech startups. So this is going to be very tasty, and I'm very excited to learn from all of you. And before we start, I would like to first ask all of you to maybe quickly share who you are and about your startup. So I'll maybe first start from the Kobe studio. So would you like to first share about what you do?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Alyssa Yamashita. I am a business manager at Peel Lab. And Peel Lab is a Japanese B2B green tech startup that makes leather from leftover pineapple leaves. So I'm actually wearing this right now. This is made of pineapple.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So,
Okay, my name is Masa from Ninja Foods. Yeah, Ninja Foods is a kind of the material food tech. Our material is a plant-based binder. That's a very healthy binder made from the Japanese traditional jelly, cognac. That's a kind of the alternative sugar or starch or syrup. That's a very healthy and so non-taste, no effect for the nutrition. Yeah, that's a very healthy binder.
amazing. So I'm going to move to virtually to startups from Estonia. So first, I would like to invite Sirli from Funky. Would you like to share a bit about yourself?
Hi, so I'm Sirli, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Funky. And we are producing sustainable protein using filamentous fungi for that.
Great, thank you so much. And moving to Enef from Tuftuk.
Yes, hi, I'm Mene Viard, Innovation Director of DevTech. So we are a contract research organization offering services to accelerate food and biotech innovation.
Great. And last but not least, Mary-Lise from IO.
Hi, from my side as well. I'm Mary-Lise. I'm CIO of IO. So it's a Estonian-based deep tech company, and we're also B2B, and we provide sustainable fats and oils for different industries like food, but also like pet feed, cosmetics, and household chemicals.
Great. So we have amazing startups here today with us. And when it comes to food tech, there are, of course, different potentials and possibilities. At the same time, there are also very different, diverse challenges as well. And when we look at the innovations in general, there's a lot of it's diverse already here today, but we have plant-based alternatives. It could be more related to agriculture-related solutions. It could be platformers-related food techs, or personalized nutrition, joy of eating, food waste, so very, very diverse as well. But one of the things that we often talk is, I'm going to dive in, but regulations can always be like one of the hurdles, so as other challenges such as supply chains as well. So in your opinion, I would like to ask, as a food tech startup, what kind of challenge have you experienced at your startup? Or maybe did you overcome? Have you overcome? Maybe we can start some sharing insights there. So would you like to first share about the PLab?
Okay. So for the challenges that we had to overcome is that so since we sell pineapple leather, our customers tend to expect like 100% pineapple made leather, but realistically speaking, it's kind of impossible to make it like 100% pineapple. So we contain about like 20 to 40% of pineapple in our leather, and we get some customers saying, oh, like we want like a 70% pineapple leather, but that is like durable enough for like car seats or like airplane seats, which require a very high standard for durability. And when it comes to these sustainable products, like you gotta have to take one or the other. Like you gotta either take the sustainability or like the durability / the cost. So yeah, that's the reality. And we had some struggles with having our clients giving that fact in. But yeah, well, we now have a lot of customers who now understand how it's really like to purchase sustainable products.
Great. And maybe I will try to do vice versa, so I can maybe ask from maybe IO as well. But any regulatory challenges or even like supply chain challenges, or what kind of challenge do you have, and how are you overcoming it? Maybe if you could start from there.
Very good question. We have a lot of regulatory hurdles on our way currently because we are producing, even though we're producing pretty traditional food ingredient, oil. It is done with a novel organism as well, in a novel way. We are used to get the oils and fats from animals and plants, but not from microorganisms like we do. And also we use low value side streams. So for example, wood hydrolysate from sawdust or dairy industry side streams. We have to go through the different novel food permits, which is the main risk assessment for our food. So we can't currently market, but nevertheless, we totally understand the food has to be safe that we put on the table for the customers. So we how to say, accept this, that we even want to test our ingredients properly, that they're safe. But the bureaucracy behind it or around it is pretty tough and requires a lot of work as well as finances. So if these can be done somehow more automatically in a wise that some AI system will generate overall documents and these bureaucracy guidelines, it would be very, very big help.
Very good point on the regulatory points. And maybe Funky, Sirli, if you would like to add a few things on this part as well in terms of challenges.
Yeah, I think we are not having any regulatory challenges, but for us it is a business direction question. So it is our choice that we have made to avoid going into a novel food category or working with GMOs. So we are not struggling in that sense. But I have to say there are struggles in multiple levels anyhow. So mycoprotein is a relatively new ingredient in the food supply chain. So when we started off, we wanted to focus more in the end products, but we quite soon realized that there are serious issues with that supply. So that's why we're also starting to work more into biotech and mushroom growing technology as well. And there are, of course, investments and other things, because with food tech, there is a huge capex requirement. So it is very difficult to raise funds, and you really need to know what kind of investments to go and investors to go and talk to. So there are more, but I think I will let others to speak as well.
Great. I think definitely not just regulations, but you mentioned about even like investments, or even when you're tackling like new ingredients, it's also about, how to really even attract consumers, or it's about marketing or even branding as well. So maybe I will also ask you about the challenges that you are seeing in general. It can be rules, it can be marketing. What kind of challenge do you see in your company?
Yeah, getting over the stereotype is a very important and very difficult. I mean, so what people eat is affected by the tradition or culture. Of course, there are many various cultures around the world. So, for example, in one culture, so people enjoy to eat the bugs, but other cultures not. So, for example, eating bugs or eating upcycled food or unfamiliar food, that's a very difficult. So I think so technically we can make many things, but so changing the people's mind is very difficult.
Behavior, minds, I think these are very, very important topic as well. And I'll move back to Taftak as well. Any challenges that you are seeing and maybe overcoming or struggling at that, if you want to share a bit about that as well.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So as a R&D service provider, of course, what we and our customers also struggle with is, of course, the issues with scaling up. So basic technological hurdles. So things that work in lab scale in very small volumes, essentially in this test tube, they don't work in bioreactors. And even if we get good results there, then there's always the massive challenge of scaling that up into actual industrial scale processes. So I think this is the same same type of issues that most companies in this sector are faced with. It's not even the question if you're cultivating fats and oils, filamentous fungi, using precision fermentation to produce any kind of protein for food purposes or other types of food. So scaling up, having processes that are sustainable and economically feasible and hopefully also profitable. So that's a major challenge. And I think that collaboration here is really the key. So working closely together with the customers, with consumers, and also with other stakeholders. So that's the key of jumping these hurdles.
Great point. And I think this also leads to my next question. You mentioned also about the collaborations as well. And as a food tech startup, I feel there is so much impact that you can create. At the same time, we have to get everybody on board to this journey. And there's, of course, many things that we learn from, of course, mistakes, but also successful cases of different partnerships or collaborations. So in a big, maybe I would love to explore more on what were the successful cases of collaborations or partnerships that helped your startup or even your community. So maybe shall we maybe start from the Kobe studio? Would you like to maybe share from the P Lab?
Okay. Yeah, thank God we're having this panel discussion today because I can finally disclose this information about our successful partnership with Seibon. So Seibon is a Japanese bag manufacturer. They manufacture this bag called randosuru, which is a very symbolic like school bag for elementary schoolers in Japan. And so we started collaborating with them like since last year. Or actually back in 2022, December. I sent them like a contact form and they were interested in us. So that led to collaboration. And now they are selling this new line of randoseru called Painaseru, which is a randoseru made of pineapple leather that we made. So yeah, that brought our revenue by like 3 times the previous month. And they are like the most highest paying customer we have right now. So yeah, I'd say Seibon, a collaboration with Seibon was the most successful partnership we had so far.
Even the name sounds very delicious. So looking forward to seeing the product as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Masa? Any successful like collaborations or partnerships that helped your company?
Yeah, actually, I want to know that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, right now I'm looking for it. So yeah, that is a very difficult. Collaboration is a key factor for us, and so maybe for any companies, but that is very difficult. For example, we have some materials for food or technology for the binding food or making texture, but that is just only the one part of the process of the food. So we have to give a presentation about to the big companies about our domain and our technology, benefit of our technology. But so of course, in many cases, big companies need a long time. For example, for researchers said, we need 5 years to development. Wow, 5 years.
Yes.
That's so terrible for startups. So adjusting the developing time is also very difficult. So actually, I want to know what is the key factor for the collaboration. Yeah.
That's a good point. Maybe that's the key fact. That might be a very good point. So maybe now we can also hear from our friends in Estonia as well. But maybe I'm now looking at the screen. IO team, would you like to maybe share about collaboration and partnerships or even things that didn't go well or any comments on that?
So yeah, I would like to emphasize 3 types of, let's say, collaborations which have helped us the most. The most expensive one is, of course, consultation. But I have to say, because I brought up this regulatory aspects, it is exactly, you can't chew through these bureaucracy papers on your own. So you really need consultants, and we have found very, very good ones. So look carefully. Of course, there's a lot of different ones out there, but they really help you. They know the system, and they will really save the time and the money in the end. The second type, which I value also a lot, is other startups. They don't have to be your future, clients, and they can work on totally different aspects, but they share same hurdles and struggles like you do. So it has been very vital. I had exactly like 2 days ago another food tech startup, and I got so much good insight because they're exactly one step ahead of us, and they gave us what to avoid and how to go further. And the third one is, of course, our future clients. I like to call them currently collaborants, exactly the same, because we are not selling yet. This has been also amazing. I can't build myself like 20 people R&D department. So exactly like Anna is here from the R&D provider, R&D service provider, or other food companies who are able to test our ingredients and give us feedback, even if it's negative feedback. Let's say that they're not satisfied yet. It's so valuable, and it is the best. So if you can find other companies and just give your product out there for testing, it is the most valuable feedback, I would say. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Actually, I want to ask maybe one more question to you, because you mentioned about this kind of like support system within like food tech startups, and I think definitely helps when you have a role model, kind of startup, or vice versa. Maybe you can share different mistakes, or maybe even like learnings within startups. So maybe in Estonia, how would you say about the food tech startup ecosystem itself? Do you have some sort of community, or like is it more of like mouth to mouth, or how do you support each other, each startup and each other?
Yeah, I can already confirm that these three we three, or these two ladies you see on the screen, are all my good companions in this journey, as well as some others. But I have to, of course, say that Estonia is small, and we really communicate a lot of Scandinavian startups. So like we have this Nordic umbrella, and as our first investment also came from Finland. And they have helped also build us this community, because they gather small food tech startups under their wings, and they bring us together, and we can share the knowledge. So it's very valuable to be in this community, I would say.
Great, amazing. And maybe I will also ask the same question to maybe Taftak.
Yeah, it's nice to hear Mari-Liisa basically saying all the same things. So I fully agree that this is a very, very tight and friendly community, not just in Estonia, but generally in the Nordics. So supporting each other. So there are really no competitors here. So we're all out here pursuing the same goal, trying to revolutionize the food systems. So it's really great to learn from your competitors also. And for us as a R&D service provider, I think it's really great that we get to collaborate a lot with these startups that are really agile, that are storming through the field, really trying to bring their products out there. So I think this form of collaboration is good for everybody in the field, and maybe just to bring out that, of course, big companies and global enterprises are important, and they are the ones creating the impact in the end. But just looking at the pace at which they move and the risks that they take, it's very slow compared to the companies that are here today and trying to really create this innovation.
Definitely, the startup speed sometimes can really actually create a huge impact. So I'm very excited to continue to follow progress. And maybe Sylvie from Funky, if you would like to add on this topic.
Yeah, I think it is difficult now to add anything new, but I would maybe still bring out Marily's talk, maybe not so much about it, but if you are in a very research-intensive startup, so it's always good to collaborate with different research partners as well as TFTAC and also others. So because you can never have, as a starting startup, all the infrastructure that is required and all the knowledge in-house. So this technological collaboration is very important. And another thing, maybe what I would mention besides the ecosystem in Estonia and Nordics is that in Europe, I'm very grateful also for EIT Food, which is actually over the Europe ecosystem, organizing a lot of events and giving a lot of support. So I think in that sense, we are quite good.
Great, so many great communities as well, and the time is running, so I'm going to kind of close with the last question. But so today we are streaming from both Kobe and also in Estonia, so very global as well. And of course, there's also distance as well. But as a global food tech startup communities, what should we do more to collaborate, or what would you like to see more in terms of this global food tech community? Is there something we can collaborate? Is there something that we can do together? Maybe I'll first ask virtually from startups from Estonia. So how about, and would you like to share some ideas?
Sure. So collaboration, it's never between organizations. It's always between people. Mm-hmm. So finding new opportunities to bring these people together, because that's how new ideas are born. That's how collaboration actually begins. So finding the shared space for idea generation, to explore, to learn from each other's failures. So I think that's something that's really valuable and could be even enhanced in the field, of course. So while these virtual meetings are great, and they of course provide us with the opportunity to be in Japan for just a few minutes at a time, but I think it's just as crucial to actually have physical events of any kind to bring like-minded people together.
Amazing. It's all about the people. And Shirley, would you like to add up on this?
Yes, I totally agree with everything what Ena said. So I think that especially if we talk about technological challenges, so these are really very similar all around the world. So if we have a possibility to discuss and change ideas on these topics, I think it would be definitely very much helpful. From the other side, if we talk about consumers or we talk about legislative part, so this is something that is maybe more difficult to find common ground across the Europe or across the world, but definitely there is a lot to win in collaborating.
Amazing. And Marlies?
Yes, I have to totally agree exactly with Anna and Shirley, as they mentioned before, and because I have been mostly focusing on this regulatory aspect, maybe I can bring out here that Singapore has been really innovative and creating the system so that a lot of Europe startups moving actually to Singapore because the regulatory process, at least for the novel foods, is way faster. So I think here, not only we as researchers and startuppers, maybe the stakeholders should also collaborate more and really learn from each other's, experience, because if it works in Singapore like that, why it shouldn't work in Europe? Because the regulatory, let's say, barriers are the same. Mm-hmm. I have to prove the food safety in Singapore as well as in Europe, so it's not different. But the process is way faster, so there's really learning points from here.
Very good point. And then maybe last comment from the Kobe studio as well.
Okay, I'll go first. I absolutely agree with what Anna was commenting. Yeah, when it comes to communicating with our partnering companies, well, it's usually like face to face. It's like even if it's like online, it's like you're talking to a person, not like a robot or AI. So yeah, I think communication is quite important. And also, yeah, what we value in PO Lab is to consider giving anything a try. Like if there's any type of idea that came up within the team or between our partnering companies, we always make sure to consider about whether if we can give it a try and think of possibilities to make it happen. So yeah.
Love it. Give it a try. And then maybe last but not least.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think so. I think taking a dinner or a lunch together is a best way, because fortunately we have some product which we can eat. So experience together is very important.
Amazing. Yeah. Have to grab dinner after this. But yeah, it's I think basically great conversation, and what you said, this bringing this emotions, or even having time together, which is about connecting people, as well as I think Eva, you also mentioned about it's about going to the same goal, and it's about revolutionizing food industries all together, and not just competitors, but we're changing the whole dynamics of food tech scene. So really excited to hear more updates of all your journey, future. And again, thank you so much for joining tonight. And today for Estonia. Sorry about that. But yes, so huge applause to all the startups, and looking forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thank you, everybody. All right, so we're wrapping up the Global Startup Talks at Meguru Summit today. So, Ruma, how was your day today?
Fascinating. That was the first time for me to be a journalist out there, but I really hope that we created some value and a new context for startups. Really, fingers crossed. And aitäh, Mari. Thank you. You have been amazing today, and I have a feeling that this is not the last time we can promote.
Definitely. I think
startups.
This is something of new beginnings for sure. And huge applause to all the startups and all the ecosystem builders who build this amazing day together, and really excited for the next one, to be honest.
Many events to come.
Yes, for
Kanpai.
sure. Kanpai. Cheers, everybody.